human resource planning process. That means basically the process of human resource planning. That means where do you start, where do you end in this particular human resource planning. Let's look at that particular thing, which is human resource planning process. So let us understand this entire concept of the process of human resource planning through different examples. That means we will be looking at a real life example so that we could relate to this entire process of human resource planning. See, let us not take a single example or a single scenario. Let us take two different scenarios or two different examples, and simultaneously we will be looking at the process. So let us consider two different examples, okay, or two different scenarios. In the first scenario, let us assume there is this organization and I am the human resource head. That means I am responsible for the entire human resource planning in the organization. Okay, now let us assume that my organization has an upcoming project in the next year. So now my main objective is to do the human resource planning, or plan for how am I going to fulfill the required quantity of workforce, or basically required the required quality of workforce, at what time, and all these things basically relating to human resource planning. So I am the head responsible for human resource planning, and I have an upcoming project in the next year, so I have to do human resource planning for that. This is the first scenario. Now let's take a second scenario. Now I am the person responsible for human resource planning in an organization, and in my organization the board of the board of directors will be there, right? One of the board of director is going to retire, and generally what happens in my organizations is, whenever a board of director member retires, all the senior managers in the organization are considered, and the one with more potential or more capabilities is generally promoted as a board of director member. Okay, this is a system followed in my organization. So in this scenario, one of the board of board of director is going to retire, so next I have to do the human resource planning in order to fulfill that particular position. It may be one board of director or two, whatever it is. So basically our example concept is that. So these are the two different scenarios that we are going to consider in order to understand this process of human resource planning, right? So what is the first and foremost thing that I have did here? I have basically stated my objective here. Why I am basically stating why am I doing this particular human resource planning here? Because I have an upcoming project and I have to plan for the workforce. So that is my objective here. That means basically make a plan relating to the human resource requirement, in order to accomplish that particular project. The first objective in the first example. The second example, my main objective is to fulfill the position of the board of directors that is about to go vacant. Okay, now these are my two objectives that I have done first. Now what is the second thing that I have to do? The second thing is I will forecast the HR demand. That means I will be forecasting, okay, in the first scenario, okay, there is this upcoming project in the next year, so what do I require in terms of human resource? That means I will start to make a plan telling that, okay, how many people will I be needing, what are the knowledge, skills, capabilities, and all these things that I am going to need, at what time should the employees be present, that means at what time should they join the organization. In this way, all the things relating to the human resource demand I will be planning. That means I will be forecasting. Basically I am basically here doing the demand forecasting. Similarly here also, right, I will be looking at what do I basically need, what kind of person do I need in order to fulfill that particular position of board of directors. What are the skills, what are the capabilities, what is the minimum experience, or basically what are the roles and responsibilities that that particular person has to do, and what are the different things that I have to look in a person in order to consider him as one of the person eligible in order to sit in that particular position of board of directors. In this way, basically I am forecasting the demand, I am looking after the demand here, right? The first and foremost step that I did in both of the scenarios or both of the examples is I basically stated my objective. That means I made my objective clear. The next thing is I looked after or basically I forecasted the demand, I forecasted the requirements. Now what is the next thing that I do? I basically look after what all I actually have. That means we stated our objective, then we looked after the demand, how much is the estimated requirement. Then we in the third step see how much we actually have. That is the third step. Now in the next step what we do is we actually compare. That means, see, okay, I stated my objective. Let's talk about the first example where upcoming projecting. I had an upcoming project. I stated my objective as that. Now I looked after, or basically I made a plan regarding, I basically forecasted the requirement, future demand. Now I looked after how much I have. Now I will be finding the gaps. Now this how much I have also, see, while forecasting the demand, we have looked after how much workforce, the quantity, how many number of employees may I need, how much amount of knowledge, skills, capabilities may I need, at what time should these employees be present. All those things we have looked in the second step. Then we moved on to the third step where we consider what all do we have. That means, okay, these are the requirements that I got in the second step. Now what all do I have? Now what all knowledge, skills, capabilities that I have. How many number of employees do I presently have? How many are ready to fill in that particular positions? In this way, this is the third step. That is where I look after what I actually got. Here also I will, in the third step, I will be looking after, okay, in order to be the board of directors of an organization, you have to have this level of knowledge, skills, capabilities, or expertise, and all these things. What do I actually have? What do the employees in my organization, the senior managers in my organization actually have? In this way, I will be looking after what I actually have. In the next step, I will actually find the gaps. This is the demand. This is your supply, actual supply. Okay, you look after the different gaps. Here also, this is the demand, this is the supply. That means this is what you have actually. You look after the gaps. The next thing is you will be formulating different strategies how to fill in that particular gaps. For example, let's take the first scenario. Upcoming project next year. You stated objective. You basically did the forecast, future demand. You calculated your present supply. You found out the gaps. Now in order to fill that gaps, what do? You basically come out with different strategies. That means you basically do the planning for different strategies, telling that, okay, how am I going to fill that particular gaps? Do I promote low level employees, or do I go out for any campuses and do campus recruitments, or do I post an advertisement? In this way, basically you're not implementing anything in both of these scenarios. You will not be implementing anything in human resource planning. You are only doing the planning part. Here basically you're planning on different things which you can do in order to fulfill that gaps. Okay, based on that you do the strategic planning and all these things. You finalize and you come to a plan, and the last thing you do is you basically monitor each and everything. You review and control. This is the first example. Now the second example also is similar. Basically in the second example, what we told, one of the board of directors in my organization is going to retire. Now in my organization, senior managers, one of the senior managers is promoted. So basically what that is my objective. Now I have looked at in the second step, I have basically forecasted, telling that forecasted about the demand, telling that, okay, what are the requirements in an employee or in a manager in order to become a board of director. In this way I have forecasted the demand. Now next I will be looking at what are the different things that I actually have in my senior managers. Now in this way you also have to look after what all do you have. You will actually try to find the gaps in the next step, and based on the particular gaps you will be coming out with basically different strategies and all these things. Here also you're basically planning. Okay, now here also in the last step you will basically do the review and control thing, where you monitor each and everything, like did everything go according to the plan? Okay, is anything is any scope of improvement in our planning, so that we could use to the use in future events, or basically we can find out any opportunities of improvement in our basically organization planning system. In this way you basically look after different things. That means monitoring and control part here. So this is basically the process of human resource planning in an organization, which I tried to explain using two different examples in two different scenarios. Now let's look at the theoretical concept, or basically the theory of this particular human resource planning, where you can relate each and every step in the process with each and every stage in these examples. Now let's move to the theory part. So the human resource planning process. The first and foremost important step is defining the human resource planning goal. That means without planning goal, that means without basically without an objective or a goal, you cannot do human resource planning. See, if you don't have a goal, for what are you doing planning? You can't actually start a plan without having a goal, right? Now it is fundamental to align the HR practices to the business goals at large. We have already discussed this, right? That means the organizational planning goals and the human resource planning goals should be in sync with each other. We have already discussed that, right? The same point here. So the human resource planning that does not encompass the holistic vision and mission of the business function is unstructured and unreliable. Okay, the same explanation. Now, so the best practice involves setting out a clear objective guideline to know what are your human resource planning goals. Here in the first scenario of the example, my planning goals are to fulfill, or basically plan how to fill the human resource requirements in the organization for the upcoming project. Okay, this is the first scenario, the objective in the first scenario. So the objective in the second scenario is human resource planning in order to, or basically planning for fulfilling that or filling that board of director members. So you should have a clear defined human resource planning goals before you actually start this particular process. Now the second thing is forecasting the HR demand. In the example what we told, first you come up with the objectives, next you look after the future demand, the forecasting the demanding part. Okay, now analyzing the future manpower requirements of the business is a significant step in HR planning. Now, there are no absolute and objective conclusions to it, but a forecast can build around known facts like attritions, layoffs, retirements, promotions, etc. So here we are telling that you in most of the cases you cannot pinpoint the exact number of human resource requirement in this particular demand forecasting, but it's always good to have an estimated number, because when you do demand forecasting you also consider so many different things, like in the process, or basically in the first example we told that in the upcoming year. Now while doing HR demand, this particular demand forecasting related to human resources in the future, that means while basically planning about the number of workforce that are required for the future project, now you also consider so many different things like layoffs, attritions, and all these things. Now further, there could also be uncertain factors like say resignations, abrupt transfers, etc., affecting your employee retention rate, which are integral to study from the scope of analysis. So from this entire theory part of this forecast of HR demand, we are simply telling that, see, the next thing that you do after you are clear with your objectives is forecasting the HR demand or human resource demand. That means basically you are trying to come out with an approximate or estimated number of the requirement representing the human resource in the future. So here we are telling that we also consider in this process of making a forecast relating to the demand of human resource, we also consider so many different things, or so many uncertain situations, like you will be having layoffs, you will be having resignations, you will also be having retirements and all these things. So including all these things, you basically do HR demand forecasting in the second step. Now moving on to the third step, which we actually discussed in both of the examples. The third thing is, once you did the human resource forecast, demand forecasting, what you actually check in what you actually have. Okay. Now the third thing is analyze the current HR supply. Okay. The next step in an effective human resource planning is to analyze and assess the current resource availability and strength. Now it involves an exhaustive study of human resource of the organization in terms of skills, qualifications, experience, age, tenure, performance, designations, compensation, benefits, etc. See, in the example I told you, right? In the second step only, while forecasting the HR demand, we also look after so many. Basically, we basically look after so many different things relating to human resource. Like we look after the quantity of human resource. That means how much manpower, how many people we actually need. We also look after the quality, or basically we look after the content of this particular human resource. That means what kind of knowledge, what kind of skills, what kind of expertise, and each and everything, what kind of basically everything related to the human resource. We also concentrate on that thing, right? Now that is the human resource, the demand forecasting part. Now we have moved on to the third step, where we are looking after what we actually have. Now there we looked after different things relating to the human resource. Here also we will be looking after different things relating to human resource. Here also we will be looking after how many people do we have, what is the content of the people that we have, and we will also be having how many people are ready to shift, how many people are ready to be promoted, or how many people are ready to be moved to the next position. In this way we are basically looking after what we have actually relating to what we need actually. So basically we are looking after what our supply relating to the human resource is in this third step. Now extensive meeting sessions with the managers and top leaders can help you identify the critical HR issues that they face and the impact on the business growth consequently. So basically we are telling that, see, while analyzing what we have, it is also recommended that you take the support from the top management or top officials or the experienced people, right? Now what we did in the next step, in the example, what we did, we tried to find the gaps. That means we know the demand, that means we don't know the exact amount, but we basically have a forecast relating to the demand. We know this particular our basic supply. Now all we have to do is find the gaps. Now see, the next step, know the gaps. Once the demand forecast is complete and you are ready with the blueprint of future needs, the second step, you will be able to identify the gaps against the previous study of availability of resources. The third step. Now see, the next two lines are basically wrong typos. They are actually the next step in this particular process I have included here. So ignore this. So moving on, you just came to know your gaps, right? So moving on to the next step in the process, we have human resource planning strategy and implementation. See, basically we came out with the objectives. Based on the objectives, we formulated, or we basically estimated, or we basically have done the demand forecasting for the future. And next we have looked after what we actually have. and next we looked after the gap, and now we are actually going to formulate different strategies, and we are going to talk about how are you going to implement those strategies in order to fill the gaps. Now this particular fifth stage is called as human resource planning strategy and implementation. It has two sub stages. Now the first sub stage in this particular fifth step in the process is the planning stage, where you talk about how are you going to plan, and you will be having the second sub stage called as implementation stage, where we will be talking about how are you going to implement that. Now please remember, this entire thing is only planning. Whatever we are doing in this particular human resource planning is generally related to planning only. Okay, now let's look at what are the different things that we do in both of these sub stages. Now after reviewing the existing gaps between the demand and supply, that means after doing the second, third and fourth step, where in second step we looked after the demand forecast, third step the actual supply we have, fourth step the gap between the previous two. Now after reviewing the existent gaps between the demand and supply, it is time to create a sound plan of action that determines to fill the needs and meets of the forecast. Now we are actually talking about, okay, let's formulate a plan on how to fill those particular gaps. Now determine whether to hire, train or outsource manpower to meet the requirement, and also create a buffer. So basically what we are telling is, see, we have the gaps, right? So in this particular stage we are telling that, okay, we have to come out with a strategy, we have to come out with a plan on how to basically fill that particular gap. Now are you going to hire people, new employees? Are you going to train your present employees so that they could be ready in order to take that particular roles and responsibilities? Or are you going to simply outsource basically, or bring the employees from outside on a temporary basis? In this way, here you are going to formulate different plans on how to fill, or basically how are you going to fill that particular gaps. And we also just said that also create a buffer, that means also have a backup plan. Okay, now to manage surplus, you can consider voluntary retirement, internal transfers, relocation and redeployment. Okay, for example, if your company has only one upcoming project, that means your company is already working on a project. Now this project is coming to an end. Now you are going to have an upcoming project, that means now you have for example, now you have 500 different software guys, and for your upcoming project you only require 100, right? Now what are you going to do with the extra 400? Now here we are telling that if you want to manage with this surplus, in this particular example we have a surplus of 400, right? Our future requirement is 100, we have 500, now we have this extra 400, right? Now we are telling, okay, if you want to manage this surplus, you can do so many different things, like, see, voluntary retirement, internal transfers, relocation, redeployment to any other location where manpower is needed, and all these things you can do in order to manage the surplus. Now training and upgradation can also be used as an additional strategy to build internal capability resource. General point: training is not only an effective retention strategy but also serves your purpose to create a future ready workforce with the required skill set. So in this point we are planning planning in two different cases or two different scenarios, telling that, okay, if your future requirement is more and if you don't have too many things or too many workforce, now basically what you do, you either do hiring, or you do provide training, or you do outsourcing and all these things. But if your future requirement is less and if you have so much workforce, you can also consider different things in order to manage this particular surplus, like redeployment, or relocating them, or voluntary retirement and all these things. So basically here we are coming out with a plan on how to fill that particular gap. Now moving on to the second sub stage in this particular human resource planning part. Now let me read this entire paragraph. This is an entire general theory. Here we are basically looking at, see, what we are basically going to learn from this entire paragraph is, you have basically come up with a plan telling that how to just fill in that workforce, how to just fill in that gap, or how to manage with the gaps, right? Now we are telling that in this particular in this particular substage, implementation stage, we will be telling that here we are also going to plan about all the other things which are involved with the implementation part. That means, for example, that is basically a plan on how you are going to basically fill in the gaps. Now in order to do that, or in the process of doing that, you will be having so many different things, like you have to comply with so many different legal issues, or you have to have your top management support. In this way, this particular step of implementation stage tells that you also have to do planning in that sense. See, I will be reading out the theory just for your reference. See, implementing any strategy from paper to practice is the most challenging and daunting task, right? Now many organizations fail to deliver when it comes to execution. Take your managers into confidence to make the implementation process smooth. Here we are telling that, okay, take your manager support also. Now Follow one step at a time to absorb and handle any unexpected resistance or challenge that you may face from employees. That means here we are telling that, okay, go slow, go process by step, okay, there is no need to rush. You can take support from your, top managers or, top employees, top management and all these things, right? So give gradual conditioning to the execution plan so that your employees get to acclimate to the changes. That means, we are basically telling that, do different things while executing, or basically while converting this plan into action, so that your employees also adjust, do different things, or basically you can basically tell them, telling that, okay, this is what we are going to do, this is how we are going to implement this. In this way, you do so many different things in order to make your employees, adjustable, or basically preparing them to adjust to the changes. Now, also, ensure that all necessary legal compliances and regulations are taken into consideration while implementing the human resource planning strategy to avoid any glitches. So in this entire substage, we are just telling that, okay, take care, while implementing, because this is one of the most difficult and one of the most important phase. There will be so many different organizations who are very good, in planning, but they are, not that good in implementation. And if you have, put so much different so much different kinds of effort, like, time, money and all these things, but if your implementation part goes wrong, then that will have a negative impact on all the things that you have invested in. So basically in this sub step, we are telling that, okay, now in the previous sub step, you came out with a plan on how to fill that gaps. Now while, trying to fill that particular gaps, that means while planning, okay, also take care of different things. In this way, for these kind of things also, we are basically planning. Okay, now comes the last step in the human resource planning process, which is review, feedback and control. Now the process of successful human resource planning is ongoing. We already discussed, right? Human resource planning is a continuous process, right? Now it is important to have a frequent review of the actionable plan to know if your strategy is moving in the right direction and meeting the goals and objectives. That means it is very important to continuously keep on monitoring in your entire planning stage, saying that, okay, is in, or at any moment of time, am I going out of sync with the organizational plans and all these things? So you have to continuously monitor your planning part in each and every step, telling that, okay, is this going in sync, is this going out of sync? In this way, you have to continuously monitor. Now monitor the progress of your plan regularly to mitigate any risks of failure. Okay, mitigate means avoid. Okay, basically in simple terms. Now create a handy and objective project management sheet. Create a handy and objective project management sheet to analyze and monitor the action plan to achieve this. Okay, it is always good to have a sheet which represents each and every step, so that you could, use that as a source in while, monitoring and all this, controlling and all these things. Now proactively avoiding the talent shortages and manage surplus to achieve the best talent pool based is an ongoing systematic process. See, in the previous substep we told, right, there may be different scenarios where, after, coming out with the gaps, you can either have a surplus, or you can, either fall short. Now here we are telling that, see, this, managing the surplus and, managing the shortage, this particular management part is an ongoing process in an organization, because we cannot tell that, an organization will have only one project. Projects will come and projects will go. Now, the projects that are coming may require more workforce that we actually have, and in other case, the projects that we get may require less number of workforce than we actually have. In this way, this is a changing scenario, this is a dynamic scenario. So basically this, management of, shortage of manpower and, surplus of manpower, basically this is an ongoing process. Now any major change in the business function or any new contract one will require you to realign the human resource planning. We have already discussed this, right? For example, see, if your, planning is in one way, for example, if the client changed the project, or if we altered the project, or if we told that, we are adding certain elements, for this particular project, in this way, if any changes happen, basically that will definitely have an impact on your human resource planning, right? So that is the point that we are telling that, okay, there is also a chance that, in these particular kind of situations happen, and if these kind of particular situations happen, that will definitely have an impact on your human resource planning. That is the general point that we are trying to tell here. Now also, there could be different planning models within the same organization to meet different departmental needs. See, we have already discussed this, right? There are so many different kinds of planning which overall contribute to the organizational planning. Okay, now a strong and detailed eye on coordinating all the factors put together can help you develop a robust plan. So here we are basically telling that, see, if you have a strong eye on each and every detail, that means if you have collected most of the information, that means, see, simply we are telling, the more information, the more relevant information you have, the more good your plan is going to be, or the more robust your plan is going to be. So basically, this is the process of human resource planning. That means, in organizations, the planning relating to the human resource is basically termed as human resource planning, right? So while doing the human resource planning in an organization, you follow a certain order. First of all, you start with the general objectives, the basic goals, the objectives for why are you going to do this human resource planning. Next what you do, you basically forecast the demand, right? Demand forecasting comes next. That means basically, in order to fulfill your objective, what kind of manpower, what quantity of manpower. In this way, how much manpower required, the entire manpower requirements you are basically looking in the second step. Now in the third step, what you do is, okay, in the previous second step, we came out with the requirements. Let us see what all that we actually have at present. That is the third step. The fourth step, what you do, you compare the previous thing. That means, previous two things. That means you compare the requirements, you compare what you have. Based on that, you will be having gaps, right? That is the next step. Now after that, what you do, you look after, how to fill these particular gaps. That means you basically come out with different strategies, telling that, okay, we are going to fill that plan using this, using that. In this way, here you are planning. And the last thing that you do is you review, control, monitor, and all these things, telling that, okay, is everything going according to my pre-schedule or pre-plan, or is everything going according to, or basically is my human resource planning going in sync with the organizational planning. In this way, you review each and everything.